Hello everyone, this is DavidViadel23 and welcome to the Mandraos Cave. Today we are gonna be talking about One Piece chapter 1169, the latest so far. Okay, so if you are not up to date for whatever reason, I just invite you to click here so you can check one of the previous videos. Okay, so you are not spoiled with the latest manga updates. Okay, as you may have seen with the miniature, we are gonna be drawing King Harald. King Harald, it is a character that we have drawn already. Okay, I have drawn a young king with the horns when he still had the previous style and everything, when he was going in the adventures exploring the world and everything. And you know that I don't normally redraw characters, but lately with the Elbaf saga, with the flashback that we are having about rocks and everything that we just finished, I think it is necessary to close some stories, okay? And I think within this one, next episode, most probably next episode, we are gonna stop seeing more content, more images, more information about Harald, and I think it's necessary. I want to draw him in his older stage when he has already no horns because he already ripped them off, and I'm picking this scene from this episode because I like the style on how he has been drawn regarding the horns. The horns, we see them here like a scar in the shape of horns, okay? So this is very poetic because at the beginning, when we are seeing him, this kind of wound looks more like a circle, like actually he pulled them off, but in here you can see like he ripped them from the head, and it's actually very interesting because we can see that the silhouette or the shape is actually like horns. This man is kind of cursed, let's say, in the concept of horns, and I think it's interesting if we keep playing with this with this idea here. Okay, so I just wanna draw. Obviously, we're gonna make him in this position, like fighting. We're gonna be analyzing the episode today. We know that what happens in the episode is basically he's starting to be controlled and he's able to communicate still, but there is, I would say, not a frustration type of feeling on his face, but acceptance. Like he knew he messed it up. He knew he messed it up at this point, and he wants to do a last kind of test, or a last trying, last intention to make Elbaf survive, let's say, okay? Because if he's not gonna do anything, Elbaf in theory perishes here, and everything is gonna be controlled by Yimu. So, starting the episode, starting the chapter, I always say episode like we're watching anime, but this is the manga. Starting the chapter, we have a very nice, very epic, I would say, one of the most epic images of the Rocks Pirates in the manga, I would say, with all of them together, very in a Luffy-like style. There is a parallelism with the Luffy design when he's with the cape and with the sword in the same position that rocks and everything, and this is obviously in reference of that other color spread Oda has drawn this one. So pretty similar as well, the characters in the positions and everything, and how is he grouping them in the sense of composition, okay? But we know that obviously he's gonna be trying to parallel Luffy with Roger, parallel Luffy with Joy Boy, parallel Luffy with Rocks and everything, to open this kind of conversation amongst all of us, all of the fans, and yeah, so that's very nice. That's very nice. And at some point, probably I take some of these images as references, or I even do one of these massive drawings with more time, one of those, I don't know, X amount of hours, 10 hours long video or something, drawing all of them. I particularly like Straussen a lot in this drawing. Probably at some point I want to do a video about him because we haven't talked about him yet, and he is bad. And I want to draw him probably taking this image as reference. I like it, very nice. Quite compact, the design, and evil. It looks like evil there in that image. So, starting the episode, we go into Gavan's house, that is on top of the trees above the castle. Okay, we see how basically there is a conversation there. We see a young Shanks. This is 14 years ago. 14 years ago is as well when we see Shanks in the bath with him. In this is like a jacuzzi type of like a hot spring type of bath he has there in the house, and they are chatting about the concept of Ace. Roger had a son. Shanks at that point didn't know, apparently, and Gavan is telling him the story, the background and everything. Shanks is very excited, very happy. He is so excited that he calls Ace like his little brother. So we have there, again, family connections that Oda wants us to see the remark in because remember that at some point there is this moment, this situation where Ace finds Shanks in the New World, and he wants to thank him for helping Luffy and being like a father figure for Luffy. And little did we know at that point that all of this was brewing in the background, and at that point already, when Shanks met him, Ace was at his eyes like a little brother, but he never said it, he never confessed it, because obviously Ace is not accepting or wanting the legacy of his father. On the contrary, he's kind of fighting against it, and he wants to create his own destiny and create his own name. That's what he does at the end of the day. But it's very interesting that at that point already Shanks had that information and considered him like a little brother. So we see here a happy Shanks with all this topic. Before the images that we have from Shanks before in the previous episodes, he is with the God's Knights. We all thought and we all knew that he was gonna be playing there, like playing a role there, trying to deceive the brother, Garling, the rest of the people in Marijoa and everything. We knew this. I have this video about the brother that I put here, that I think Shanks managed to convince the brother and put him in his side. I think he is good, Shamrock is good, and he's gonna be working with Shanks. Feel free to check it out, because it's very interesting, and I think if that kind of theory is gonna be true, it has to be revealed, I don't know, maybe in the next 5-10 episodes tops, and that we're gonna go already into 2026. So it is crazy. It is crazy to see that we are already finishing the year, and we have so many information that has been dropped now to the end of the 2025. I thought 69, this one was gonna be the last chapter of the year. I didn't see at the end some sort of break next week or 3 weeks break or something like that. I'm not sure. When I have the information, I will put it here as well in the show more section. I'm not sure if we are maybe having one last episode and we finish with 70, with 1170. It will be good for him to finish the year with a round number, and whatever happens with Harald, it needs to happen in 70 as well. And then he could start the new year with, mid-January, end of January, he could start the new year with a fresh story, coming back into Elbaf, coming back to Luffy, Loki, and Gerundin, that they are the ones talking about these flashbacks. So all of this story, if you remember, this is Loki telling the story to his brother and telling the story to Luffy. Probably Luffy is sleeping like he normally does, or he is, being funny around, because, from previous experiences, we see that what Luffy does in these circumstances is just fall asleep. He's not interested in the background. He's just interested in the present. So we will see what's gonna be end of 70, beginning of 71, I would say. We need to do this circle here, okay? This is the cave, so we need to open a little bit more this horned cloak that he has, and then here for the back to create the shape. Okay, so Harald here is attacking. in position like this. So the other hand is at the back. We don't see the chest much here. We only see the arm. I don't wanna go out of frame much. This is like in a perspective like this, so we're gonna be playing with this like this, okay? But yeah, so Gavan is talking with him, and they are talking about Roger, talking about Ace. In the meantime, we see the castle, how Loki jumps into the scene, he arrives, and then we have as well old Jarul, that I thought he was gonna be bad until now. Now it's giving me the understanding that he may be like just a standard guy, like a filler guy, because he's not doing anything, and I don't like that much. The Oda had like a very interesting kind of design for the character, so I just want to see how Elbaf is going to finish, because I will never close anything until Oda confirms it. Like my theory about Shaka, I still think that Shaka, the good Vegapunk, for the greater good, he may have been playing some, double type of role in the Egghead saga, and we don't know it yet. Even if he's dead, that he's not dead mentally. That could be playing in that aspect. I think that's what may be happening as well with Jarul still. But let's continue with analysis. So we see how the king is kind of not going crazy, like fighting or attacking everyone, but he just attacked one. He's able still to have his thoughts together. He's like kind of, I feel that I can't control my body, that my body is being controlled by someone. I need to stop this. That's why he called for Loki and for the old man, because these are the guys who are as well giants like him, okay, and with ancient blood, and they can basically stop him physically speaking. The rest of the giants cannot kill him, so he needs these two to kind of stop him. We knew this. We talked about this already, that he had to ask, like Rocks, when we were analyzing the Rocks episode the other day. He had to ask for this favor of them, so they could just basically eliminate him. Okay, so let's do. This is gonna be the knee is opening here in perspective, and then we see only a tiny bit of the feet like this, and the texture for the boot as well. I need to open this a little bit more, I think, like this. He's jumping. This is a very, very good perspective that he took, very in motion, so the character is being very strongly moving here in this scene. It's difficult to kind of convey in the drawing, so I'm trying to make it work here, you see, like this, and trying to not force the drawing, just be a little bit like this. And we still need to, this feet, we should be like this, something like this, because he's jumping in motion. I want to go a little bit down, so we have this one out of the scene, that he already has it in the scene, and I'm able to fit here on the top the arm, okay, like this. Okay, so there is a emphasis here, there is a focus in the Abyss mark. In the latest episodes, this mark has been explained as depending on the level of strength that he had, depending on the level of the covenant, let's say, of the pact or the contract that you have with Imu, and this mark, this tattoo, changes a little bit, okay? And with the horns means that he's already God's Knight, he's already controllable, and we see how Oda is wanting us to look at this, to look at the emphasis here, to look at the similitude as well, resemblance as well with the pirate flag concept and everything. So he's remembering about all the promises that he did, all the things that he built. Harold is kind of worried. You see this kind of adult worry in his eyes while thinking about ripping off his horns, thinking about Saul, the kids, the school, everything, you know, all this propaganda that he was kind of throwing away to all the places in Elbaf so they could actually evolve and be part of the world. There is a frustration there that you know, I will call it like a pain in his eyes, and it is, I think, one of those sad One Piece moments. I'm a little bit scared when they are gonna do this in anime, because we may experience, like, I don't know, a lot of a flashback, in the sense of you know, in this type of episodes that they put other scenes from the past to remember and everything, and they may elongate this. I'm a little bit worried about this, because I think this can be a very emotional moment, and if the anime is gonna be extending this part to giving you a mini flashback of the flashback inside another flashback, it breaks, in my opinion, it breaks the feeling. As well, feel free to express how you feel as well about this concept of what Harald is feeling at the moment, and how it's represented in the anime sometimes, like, for example, with Merry's burial when he's burning and they start doing in the middle of the scene cuts to go into flashbacks of Zorro with Merry, Sanji with Merry. Like, I remember that was 2 characters per episode. I believe it was around 4 episodes, 3-4 episodes, and then come back to the end of Merry's burial, and it took me off completely. In the manga, you see the scene, you cry. Merry is going to the bottom of the sea. We have this conversation, and then you can feel it. You can feel it because you don't lose the context. But I'm a little bit afraid of this more now that in Elbaf and in the new type of animation that we are seeing in One Piece, it is being more exaggerated, the concept of the fighting, or the concept of the feeling, and sometimes less is more. But we will see what's gonna be like that. So in this moment, Harald is feeling that thought of, he's basically saying, you men, you need to kill me now. The episode is that he needs to die now, the name of the episode, the title of the episode, and this is because he knows that if he's not gonna be killed, there is nothing that can stop him, and nothing that can stop Imu. He did a mistake, and this is the blunder, how he's behaving now, and this is the blunder that Imu said at the beginning. If Harald wouldn't have done this blunder, I would be already king of the world, or king of whatever, and control Elbaf, but he realized in time. Let's do this perspective. The sword is gonna go outside of a scene like this, okay? We can't fit it, it's even going outside of the page. But I think something like this, it is very interesting, and we have him all now in a scene. I'm gonna go in a moment into fine liner. It's a lot of movement here in perspective. Like this, okay? So I have here 0.3 fine liner that we used as well the other day. This drawing is quite big. I'm occupying the whole A4 to do this one. Normally I always use the bit, the small bit in the middle, and but you know, King Harald is a very big guy. So we see how everyone stabs him in the silhouette image that we have seen a couple of times already. So we are kind of coming back to where we started now. We are coming back to what we wanted to see. What is the challenge of Loki and Jarul here? What happens here? So they stab him, and he realizes obviously that they cannot kill him. He's regenerating automatically. He is basically not feeling anything, and it makes it very interesting, because we haven't seen either Jarul in fight, we haven't seen Loki in fight either. Just trying to, it's a little bit dry, this pen, and I want to see how are they gonna handle this, how are they gonna kill him, okay? So both of them are surprised. Then we come back a little bit to Gaban, to Shanks in the conversation, continue the conversation. Shanks is spilling the beans, there, trying to explain to Gaban how the mark of the covenant, this kind of tattoo, works with Imu, how they are able to control you, how even if they had this kind of moment in Marijoa that Harald said, "Oh, I think I recognize you," and they kept it quiet, and later outside Shanks had a conversation with him and said, "Ah, yes, you are the red guy, the red hair guy and everything," and they start talking. So basically Shanks is intending to make Harald aware that he shouldn't accept the covenant. He should not bend the knee there, and basically he could play his role, but he needs to be aware that he will be controlled. So he wants him to stop doing that. I have to say as well, not very nicely done in Shanks' part. In this aspect, even if Harald can be a very stubborn, old school type of guy, I need to change this pen because this pen is giving me trouble. Let me see. I have a 0.4. I think I never used before. I'm gonna use a 0.4. It's quite a thick tip for my style of drawing, but with this bigger one, it can look interesting. Let's have a look. Yes, it is. It is very nice. This type of white beard, type of beard that he has as well. Drawing like this. Okay. And then this Kaido type of beard that he has as well here. Okay. Very nice. So what I was saying, that I have to say that from Shanks' side of things, like yes, explain to Gaban about the type of powers, the connection with Imu, explain the mark, how it works and everything, tell him that you wanted to talk with Harald to let him know to not do that. What are you doing then talking with Gaban? Why in the previous image, in the previous panel, that you are talking to Harald, that you are outside of Marijoa, you are on the scene, we can see in that image that you are on the ship. Why are you not telling him all of these things at that time, when you are revealing yourself as a infiltrated there? Okay, you are confessing to Harald that you basically are there just to because you have an agenda, basically. Why not doing that? Why waiting until Harald will accept? Because Harald, you knew he needs to accept. Did you maybe tell him at that point that the conditions, but you wanted now to convince him even more, because Harald may be stubborn, and Harald may be thinking, yeah, whatever you say, but I need to fulfill my promise. I need to kind of keep this kind of facade with the government, so they actually can help us to go outside in the world and to be included in the world. This has been Harald's agenda the whole time, and Shanks knew it, obviously, and everyone here, we knew this, but the only excuse for Shanks is if this is what happened, that basically Harald said, no, I understand what you say, but no. I think this is again a parallelism with Rocks. Rocks probably told him everything that he knows, or he should have said, yeah, Imu is behind all of this, there is someone who is manipulating, blah, 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 help me. And then that's another perspective that Harald may have had. We don't know if that conversation actually happened or it didn't happen, but why it didn't happen? If you want your friend to help you, now like Shanks, if you want to help Harald, why are you not giving all the information? It is a little bit funny in that aspect. We have as well this other moment when Harald is talking with Saul multiple times. He is accepting Saul, because remember that Saul is not from this, let's say, land. He is from another giant place. And the thing is, with the Buster calls, with the O'Hara incident, with everything, Saul, didn't you actually tell Harald everything that happened there? Didn't you actually express your thoughts about the Buster call, how your friends tried to kill you because you were trying to do these things with, O'Hara? I mean, yeah, Probably he said all this information. There is no, I don't think there is a scenario where I don't imagine Harald having no knowledge of this. So that needs to be present. It hasn't been addressed. I don't think it's going to be addressed. I think Oda is going to leave it like in incognito there. The question is going to be there, like Harald probably preferred to keep that information for himself, not follow the advice of, maybe Rox, maybe Shanks, maybe Saul, and keep trying to become part of the world government, part of the world, and open, like Wano, open the borders of Elbaf, basically. And it was a mistake. It was a mistake. So there is a massive burst of Conqueror's Haki with black lightning coming from the castle, surprising Shanks and Gavan. We see how Loki is clashing with the father, trying to stop him. Loki, obviously, we said 1,000 times, Loki is good. I'm going to put the theory here, but just as a reminder, we got that theory right once again. He's trying to help his people, the guards there, because his father is starting to go in a frenzy to killing everyone, and he's the only one, as you can see here, that can clash with him. So he's asking him, why are you killing us? We see Jarul as well, how he is drawing out his sword. Jarul, the old man, the one of the previous pirate leaders of before Dorian Brogi of Elbaf, the pirates of Elbaf. He is drawing the sword as well. That figure of Jarul is some sort of elder, advisor for Elbaf. And this is something that in Norse mythology, Norse Vikings as well and everything, you see quite common, that the elders had some sort of power and vote decision and opinions higher than the rest of the people there. And we see him drawing the sword. We know what's going to happen to Jarul in a moment, because we've seen him in the present, how he looks. They managed to subdue the king, throwing him on the floor. Some of the scenes, he doesn't look like he's opposing much resistance, to be honest. I think because he's having still this internal conversation in his mind, he can't speak his mind fully, but he's having his internal conversation, and some of the things that he says is yes, that whatever he's done is unforgivable, they need to kill him, he's losing his control. Basically the same things that Rox was asking or telling Roger and Garp in the flashback from a couple of episodes ago. And it is interesting. You don't see a Harald expressing his thoughts. Like in another situation, I think Oda would have wanted or would have drawn the character that is suffering, in this case Harald, crying, but we don't see that. And I think this is a mix of situation. I think this is Oda trying to explain Harald cannot express his emotions on his body because he's been manipulated, so his face is quite plain, basically neutral, and at the same time the seriousness can be as well seen by, I messed it up, I need to take on the consequences, I'm gonna die, and I'm determined to die here. So I think there is a little bit of duality in the faces that we are seeing with Harald. I like it because it gives him a different type of humanity that we haven't seen in One Piece yet. The frustration is handled in another way. Maybe Oda is trying to show us that this is how the frustration is handled in a brave warrior of the sea. That's what Usopp wants to be. From Elbaf, kind of the excellence of the warriors of Elbaf handles this pain in this way. He's gonna tank it, he's gonna accept it, and he's gonna suffer the consequences that is ending up dead, basically. And the conversation keeps going around all of this. Harald here reveals something that up until now we had as well a question mark on it, that is basically the the concept of the fruit, the legendary fruit that is passed down in generations. I thought, probably everyone thought, that the fruit was already within Harald, that Harald had this Akuma no Mi power. I didn't speculate much about the fruit power because I thought we would see the power or the transformation through Loki in the present time. I still think that's what we're gonna see, but I thought Harald ate the fruit at some point, and Harald here was gonna be killed in theory by the sun, by everyone there, and then the fruit will show up, will appear, and we would see how Loki was gonna eat it, okay? Not even seeing the power, but at least how he was gonna eat it. This didn't happen like that. They are basically saying, go and eat the fruit, so you can stop me and you can kind of put everything in order. So the fruit is in a chest somewhere in here in the castle, okay? I don't know why. I don't know if they are waiting for someone. The meaning of this, the consequences and the repercussions of this is that the previous king, before Harald, and the previous one, etc., until from generations and generations, they did not eat the fruit. Okay, so the fruit was not in use. This is giving me a second thought here. Is Loki actually gonna eat the fruit? Or is Shanks, that is here now, I will talk about him in a second, but Shanks that is here now, is he gonna try to steal the fruit and he's not gonna manage? Is this the Gomu Gomu that later is gonna be the Nika fruit? There is a lot of theories online as well about this controversy online about if this fruit originally was Luffy's fruit, and somehow the government took it, and somehow the government was moving it with, we know that Sabretooth, who is who. We know he was moving the fruit, and then Shanks intercepted basically and took it. We know that Shanks is a mastermind. At this moment, we know that he's a mastermind. Maybe all of this was orchestrated, and he was obviously, because this knowledge, this is connections, all of it. Okay, this knowledge here in this episode, he receives information of Ace being son of Roger. So the captain has a son. And then he says, oh, maybe this guy can be the next Pirate King. Ooh, I'm gonna give him all the options I am available for him to become the Pirate King. So maybe, yes, originally everyone thought about this. Maybe Shanks was looking for Ace to give him the fruit, to become the next King of the Pirates, to become the heir of Roger and everything. But Luffy, intervened and was in the middle of all this mess. And then Shanks, after seeing Luffy for many years, how he behaves, and he is pretty similar in character to Roger, he said, yeah, I'm gonna play this card and I'm gonna go for this. So, but originally looks like he was actually gonna find Ace and give it to Ace. And the thing is, if we continue in the story, the conversation, then we see a little bit of expression from Harald. Harald is crying here that whatever happens to him and whatever view the people is gonna have of him, it doesn't matter anymore. He's sacrificing himself, for the good of Elbaf. For the greater good, he will die, he will be killed, and Loki will take the throne. This is what he is asking here in these panels, in these pages. Think about this 1 second, okay? Normally in royalty, the firstborn is the heir. We know Jarundin is the firstborn, he is the older brother, but we have all this controversy of Jarundin being son of Hilda, not being son of the other woman from the royal marriage, the one that he married. So legitimate son, it will be in theory Loki. So the next in line, even if he is little brother, it should be Loki. So he's asking him to fulfill his role here. Loki, obviously, he's not the type of character who wants to be a king. He's pretty similar to Luffy. I can see in his eyes there, even if we don't see his eyes, in his expression in general, we can see that he doesn't want to do that. And then is when we have this scene that I'm drawing today, that he starts going in a rampage. We have as well Cape here. The Cape is flying all over. The Cape is flying here, and the Cape is flying. What is going on with my pens today? Let me see the other 0.8 I have here. Yeah, this one is better. Yeah, this one is much better. We do all of this as well, like in black. This drawing is gonna be quite filled with darkness first, because the design, I think, is gonna be quite brown and black in colors, and on top of this, because you know the mark of the abyss there and everything, that we forgot about drawing the circle, and because the consequences of this drawing, that he's basically executing his own people, and that is very cruel, very bad. And imagine you being in this situation, that you are being manipulated by a demon, and this demon is making you kill the people that you love, the people that you are trying to save, the people that you are trying to have out on the world and be recognized as equals to the rest of the world. That is very cruel from Imu's part. So we see how at this moment is when Harald is going full on. He's squashing, you know, the head of one of the soldiers, like killing him there on the spot. He's heading on. Loki started running already. He's trying to basically run to this secret room, mysterious room. We don't know where is this gonna be, but there is like the Akuma no Mi room, basically. And then he wants to kill Loki in the process. Now you see the transformation, that now, slowly, he's not even master of his own thoughts. He's being controlled fully now, more and more. We see how Jarul intervenes. For my sadness here, because I want to say still that Jarul is bad, but all is pointing out to know that I was mistaken. So it is allowed as well to fall in mistakes and to have theories that are not correct. If you want to know more about that theory, I'm going to put it here anyway, so you can explore it and we can discuss it to see if that still may happen or not. But so far that we are seeing is a strong determination as well in his face, in his bloody face, because he's bleeding already, like from the first original clash with the king, and he basically stabs him from behind, because he can't face him on a direct battle. You know, he's an old man already. He is, you know, you see him like being very old. He's the oldest character in One Piece, actually, apart from Imu and the Gurusei, that we don't have confirmation exactly how old they are. Jarul is the oldest character alive in the story. Imu obviously comes from 900 years ago. The Gurusei probably as well, or maybe if not from 900 years ago, maybe one is from 900, the other is 800, the other is 750, but more or less all of them are quite old as well, okay, in this aspect, okay. They are using this eternal life, basically, this immortality that Imu is giving them. But he's stabbed there, and then this scene, I was thinking about drawing this scene as well, is very cool. Harald turns around, very skilled. You see in this drawing, in this movement, how good he's in fighting. Just with a twist of the body, he's turning around and he stalks the full sword in the head of the elder. In the present time, he's looking like this. Probably the doctor, whoever the doctor is around here, said, let's not take it out, because if you take it out is when you're gonna die. This is as well something from real life, that there are some moments that if for whatever reason, for very bad luck, there are people who got stabbed in something like this, or had like a very big impact. Sometimes they say do not remove the object, because if you remove the object you will bleed out and you can die. So it's better to wait a little bit while we treat that, and took the piece out wisely, cleverly, and obviously with knowledge of what you are doing. But up until now he is still having it encrusted in the head, so that means that he just left it there. We continue trying to chase Loki, and then magically, because they felt the outburst of Conqueror's Haki from Gaban's house, the two stars, Shanks and Gaban, show up, cutting Harald. This coach feel that they are affecting more than the ones that the other guys gave to Harald. Probably they have some techniques. I explained in one of my theories that I've done in the past that Gaban, as my understanding, one of his abilities must be he's a master in using Haki to cover things, okay? I think when he cuts one of the God's Knights in the present time in Elbaf, okay, one of the arms of some Saint Summers, he basically, I think what he's doing is coating the wound with Haki so he can't regenerate. I think Shanks and Gaban, both of them are able to use that. Shanks is like a little bit like Kakashi in Naruto, I think in that aspect. He's like a ninja copy. Okay, it is said, it is implied in many circumstances that only by seeing a couple of times Divine Departure by Roger, Shanks was able to replicate it. So he's very gifted, he's very talented, and he may have innate ability for copy abilities of other people. I think here as well, when he's cutting Harald, they are using this, so he's gonna take more time to regenerate. He will fully regenerate 100%, but he's gonna take more time. I see, because of this scene, that 1170 is gonna be a little bit of a clash between these three characters. We're gonna see Gaban, Shanks, and King Harald fight a little bit, at least for 1 or 2 pages. We wanna see this. That's gonna be very nice. Gaban is getting more and more important in the story, and I love it. We have this theory here in the channel, and I said it as well in many videos, that I think the man marked by flames is Gaban, and this is because the black ship that they say that he's traveling in a full black ship, I think this is the Oro Jackson still functioning, that he is coating with his power, okay? It is a total normal possibility for someone to be able to do this. We have seen other characters coat objects like Vergo, for example, and Vergo was, at this point in the story, a nobody. He was very strong, yes, but at this level, at Roger level, he was a nobody, and he was able to coat weapons. We are seeing now everyone coating the swords, coating the attacks that they are throwing in the distance. So that is as well very nice, very interesting in my opinion. So if you are telling me that one of the main guys of Roger is able to coat a full ship, that is not going to be a shock for me. So I think that is the more plausible option to happen here, and I can't wait to see it. I think by the end of Elbaf, when we are actually finishing Elbaf, we are gonna see all of these details about Gaban, all the information about the last poneglyph. We're gonna go on top of the tree, the very top of the tree, like we done in the Skype Island. We're gonna meet this monster, this air king, let's say. That is gonna be Sky King. That is gonna be the ancient weapon creature, and all of these things. That is the one that was inside the egg in Roger's ship. That's why you need to connect all of these pieces together, because it makes sense. Oda is not gonna give you any other Roger pirate out of the blue. We've seen all of them already in the flashback. And yes, we may see some things with Buggy, with Crocus, with other characters that we already know, but he's not gonna reveal another guy from Roger that was, I don't know, the number 3-4 now after Roger, Gaban and Silver Rayleigh, and give him more role here, more importance. There is no time to do all of those things, okay? So I think Gaban has to be the one, and with these attacks that he is throwing, in my opinion, Oda is trying to imply this, okay? Obviously, all of these guys are good guys, are friends. Gaban, the first thing that he is doing after throwing this first attack to Harald is asking Jarul, yeah, you good? And Jarul is, yeah, no problem. The helmet stopped the attack. Obviously, this is fantasy. In real life, that would never happen. That would never happen if you are piercing a helmet with a sword, and the sword, like 3/4 of the sword, is coming out of your back. You are dead, basically, if that happens. But here in fantasy, playing with the idea of the helmet, they're still alive already, okay? So they are shouting to Harald, trying to convince him to awaken, basically, to wake up. And then I like this image a lot, where Harald looks like a demon. I think he's embracing, within the problem here that he's controlled. He's just embracing, and he's like, this is actually looking quite cool, the immortality and everything. He feels superior, and Shanks then is in trouble. He's worried because remember, and this is important. Harald, at this point in the story that we are seeing in that flashback, okay, at that point, I can tell that he is the strongest character in the whole One Piece physically. We had this clash a couple of times, multiple times, between him and Rocks, and those two were equal in power before Imu gave any kind of powers to any of them. So once Rocks is dead, I don't think there is anyone with physical power able to stop King Harald. You need a power up. That's why Loki is trying to get the fruit to be stronger. So we jump into that last panel, last scene, where Loki opens this kind of dungeon, this kind of cell door, like a prison type of place, and there is a dark room, and we see his silhouette entering, and you can see the forbidden devil fruit. The Akuma no Mi is there in a chest. The chest is giving me some Shandora vibes, Sky vibes. I'm liking it. We need to remember that Sky Island is the introduction of all this concept of gods. They said, the god of the sun, the god of the forest. They introduced all of these things there. The earth as well. So in Elbaf, we are on top of a tree. There are clouds that we can sail on, like in Skype as well. I have this theory as well about Elbaf being the pole. Elbaf is like kind of a tree. It's like the pole in the middle, and all these strings made of clouds, like Doflamingo's power, are connected to all the Sky Islands. So if the tree is gonna fall, the tree is gonna fall like the vine in Skype. They are gonna cut it. Zorro is gonna cut it, and I think Crocodile with the ancient weapons is gonna cut it as well. It's gonna help with this. When all of this happens, I think they are gonna pull all the Sky Islands, and they're gonna make them fall into the blue sea. Okay, and that's why you need the Sea Kings to save the people in Eugene Island to resurface, and the Sky Kings flying like dragons, type of dragons, or rocks, flying around into these Sky Islands to save the people in the Sky Islands. The same thing that is going to happen underwater is going to happen above the sky, okay? And it will make sense. Why would Elbaf have these abilities with the clouds if you are not going to actually use it later in the story? It will make no sense, okay? So the design, it gives me that impression of the chests. You could have done this is a choice. This is a design choice. We have seen already how many chests we had in the other image. 9 at the end. At the beginning we had like 6 originally, but through the flashback, then it's revealed that we have 9. Okay, and some of them look like plain wood and maybe metal, and then some others look kind of dark, like black. This one, it has this kind of crown, like a Skypea type of crown, tribal type of crown in the middle. It's gotta be something legendary. It's gotta be something very interesting. It's gotta be one of those gods type of fruit. It reminds me as well the crown that the sun god Nika and everything is wearing in the designs of the silhouettes that we have seen in the stories, in the mythology of Nika. We see this type of crown. So I would say I wanna think Luffy's fruit is in there. I wanna think Luffy's fruit is in there. I wanna think Harold is gonna manage to, for whatever reason, throw an attack at Loki, and the chest is gonna open, is gonna fall, maybe even from Elbaf, or fall and float, and maybe who is who, and some other random government agent is gonna find it. I don't know who is gonna be, but someone who is gonna be despicable, like Saturn probably. They are involved in Saturn a lot in all of these things. If they give him a win, that he's the one who gathered the fruit, it will make sense. And why it will make sense if this is Luffy's fruit as well? Because the Guru say, talk about the Nika fruit, and they say, this fruit is never been awakened. It's been centuries without awakening. Okay, so what is happening here? If the Elbaf guys are keeping it as a trophy but not eating it, Harald didn't eat it, his predecessor didn't eat it either, no one is eating it from 900 years, they are keeping it, and now Luffy ate it. That's why maybe it awakened after all these centuries, because no one was eating it, and the giants were living actually. The giants are living more, they are living longer than humans, so they could have been there for a couple of centuries already keeping it, and we are talking about maybe only 3 generations for them, okay? 3 generations, and we could be already in the Void Century. So it makes sense. It makes sense for me if this is gonna be Luffy's fruit. Someone, as I said, someone needs to find it, and someone needs to give it to who is who at some point to transport. And all of these Shanks that is here is gonna see it. I don't think Shanks is gonna get it. Maybe, Shanks may return for a moment to the God's Knights. We don't know 100% that he is living for good. In that previous scene, they said, Shanks disappeared, but we don't know if his mission, if his role with the God's Knights is finished yet, okay? So maybe Shanks, I'm just gonna throw here a hypothesis, maybe Shanks is gonna take it, find it. Loki nowadays, he's kind of bluffing, and he actually doesn't have any fruit. He didn't eat fruit at the end. But Shanks maybe took it in the aftermath. Maybe Shanks gave it to the father, to the brother, just to stop the questioning, like, yes, I am working with you, I'm giving you the legendary treasure of Thingy. And then they said, okay, good, let's give it to the CP because we want to transport it from point A to point B. We don't know why they will transport something like this, and we don't know why they will give this responsibility to a basic CP character like who is who, that it is not that strong, to be honest. Even if he was the Rob Rucci at the time, he's not that strong. And it is interesting. It is interesting because then Shanks leaves 100% the God's Knights, intercepts who is who, takes the fruit, and then is when he goes and tries to give it to Ace, but ends up being with Luffy. Why would he do this? Because if he's gonna take it now, they may trace him at the moment, but if later someone random is gonna attack who is who, but they don't know much who is gonna be, he could actually get rid of this kind of suspicion things as well. I like it. It can be interesting. Let's not forget that he has the lines here, the tattoo on the face here. Okay, and now I'm just gonna add some tones like this. I like when the characters have a lot of fine liner, a lot of pen around. So let's do the body here. The horns are gone, so we don't need to draw the horns. Okay, this is gonna be quite quick because there is no much skin to paint here. Okay, like this. You see, maybe we should do the shape of the scar, maybe a little bit remark with a darker tone like this. Yes, just to have the shape there. And then we do the neck like this. Okay, all of this. And the arm here as well, we paint it like this. Is speed lines, okay? Like we're doing speed lines there, like this. I don't know the sword how it is actually gonna be, but I think we should follow the pattern of browns and darks, and we could do this brown. I have my gold yellow to do this side like this, and then I have black tone as well. I have this today, this Carandash Supracolor Soft, that we can do like a grayish tone for the sword, just a tiny bit like this, without pressing. If you are drawing with me, without pressing, if you are trying to achieve gray while painting with black, okay? Because if you press a little bit too much, we are gonna go into black, and we don't want that. A little bit of shadow here for the arm, and probably here. I kind of like this with turquoise color. Do I have some sort of turquoise? Yes, I do. So I'm just gonna put this like greenish. I think the greenish tones with the browns and the blacks work very nice. And then this one, I'm gonna make it a little bit like this with yellows, and a little bit as well with browns like this. Okay, and the same style we will do for the boots in a second here. Okay, we will do a little bit of yellow here and here, and a little bit of browns here and here. This is looking very nice. I think I just almost finished. In a second I finish here. I'm just gonna do the scars should be a little bit pinky as well, because we have this kind of wound there. Yeah, and just to kind of close the video, there is this final image, this final drawing next to the fruit, next to the legendary chest with the fruit. There is something very interesting. There is Ragnir. Ragnir is the hammer, like the Mjolnir in mythology, the Thor's hammer. Here it is Loki's hammer, okay? The hammer seems to be alive, so he is moving. How can the hammer be moving on his own? Does the hammer have a fruit as well? We have seen Vegapunk implementing this technology into characters like Lasso, for example, in the Arabasta saga, the dog, the bazooka that is a dog. We have seen this in Frankfried as well, that Frankfried is the elephant sword that our beloved Spandam has, the super cool guy Spandam has. And now we have seen as well one of the characters in Geraldine's crew, one of the guys, he has a shield that looks like a homie, one of Big Mom's homies. So why and how this is gonna be with the hammer? Are we giving the hammer a fruit? Are we giving the hammer a homie? Is the hammer having a spirit of someone inside? Is someone that was using the OP at some point put the soul or the heart of a character within the hammer? We have seen in the present time Loki with a hammer, with this square type of hammer. Is nice, so we need an explanation. I was expecting just to be a normal hammer, but this is making the story more and more interesting. Oda is mixing the main characters of Norse mythology, Odin, with the concept of the eyes in Loki, Loki with the name and the type of the design of the character, in Loki as well, the concept of the hammer and the thunder god type of concept with the hammer as well with Loki. So I see a lot of mixes, so it's difficult to guess how this is gonna be. What I have quite clear in my mind is that by the end of Elbaf, that hammer is gonna go for Usopp. Usopp is gonna keep this hammer. We are gonna end up in the cut when the Adam tree, that is the Elbaf tree, is gonna be cut and falls. In the start of the trunk of the tree, the giants are gonna carve an image of God Usopp, the brave warrior of the sea, God Usopp, probably like the Tontatadon. I can represent see that, and I see an image of Loki giving him Ragnir. And remember, there is a character already in this story, that is that owl in the library that can reduce the size of objects, so he could reduce the size of the hammer, so Usopp can take it. And it will be something similar to what Nami is using. I don't see a scenario where Usopp is not gonna get this hammer. More when we have his massive epicness in Thriller Bark while defeating, for example, Perona with the giant hammer and everything. It is set up. It is set up for Usopp. It is set up for a power up in the sense of tools like Nami with the climate act. I want to know your opinion about this. This is only my opinion, obviously, about the episode, about the things that are happening, but I want to know your opinion as well and see what you think, okay? We finished already. I'm just going to do this kind of little detail here. A little bit of darkness around the mark. Okay, but I really like it. I really like how it looks. I really like how it looks, the drawing today. And yeah. So what I think we are gonna see in 1170, that we may have it next week. I hope we have it before the new year. Sometimes, most of the time, Oda stops for Christmas and New Year. I don't know how it's gonna be, but I can't see anywhere that there is no episode next week. So let's see. Let's keep an eye on these things and let's see what's gonna happen. What I foresee for 1170 is that there needs to be a little bit of comedy with the hammer not wanting to go with Loki, being a little bit like Ash and Pikachu in Pokemon, like kind of, I don't want to go with you, I'm gonna electrocute you and things like this, but Loki being able to resist it. I see a moment where we have a fight between these three titans, that's Harold, Gaban and Shanks a little bit to stop him for going after Loki. We need this comedy from Loki, and we need this kind of tension where Loki is gonna eat the fruit, and it may very well just eat it and have a power and everything, but I think the setup is for this chest to have Luffy's fruit. That can be very funny as well, very interesting as well, and we will see, because the legendary god, Nika and everything story is about this fruit. So it will make sense if Oda is gonna mix these two storylines in one. I hope that happens. And maybe by the end of the episode, what we see is that when he tries to maybe just chomp and eat it, they are gonna attack him from behind, and they are gonna roll in a storm of fighting inside this room as well. They're gonna throw everything through the wall, breaking the walls of the castle and throwing the fruit into the ocean. Something like this. It could very well be something in that line, okay? I want to know your opinion. I want to know what you think about 1169 and what do you expect in 1170. Okay, I think we finished for now. I'm gonna sign with the other pen with 0.4, right here in the side. This is DavidViadel23, DavidViadel23. You can say that you want, and this is the Man Dragon's Cave. I hope you enjoyed the video, you like the theory and everything, and feel free to share with your friends, with your nakamas, with your family, and with anyone who may be interested in this kind of drawing One Piece type of videos. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much. Bye.